Good afternoon, gentlemen. This will be a video of rebuilding the valves and putting the head on the compressor. Also, I've got the seals for the hydraulic unloader here. So we're going to be removing the hydraulic unloader and replacing the quad ring and the loader off. Got the seal rings off. They were absolutely hard as a rock. It's no wonder why they were leaking. The quad ring goes on first. Doesn't matter which way it goes on, either or. The V-ring here is important though. You want the V facing towards the body, because that's where it's going to pick up the oil pressure at. Alright, got the V-ring and the quad ring installed. If you notice here, you got an R here and a D here. The D stands for diaphragm, the R stands for receiver, so the D goes straight up. Alright, moving on to the cylinder head here. What we want to try to concern ourselves with is the rust inside here. More than anything, if you can see, it's all on the high pressure side right here. So what the deal is here is you just want to clean all this out here the best you possibly can. You just don't want any of this piece of rust coming loose and wedging in between a valve seat. So we're going to clean this up and see what it looks like. Got the head clean. Quite a bit of rust in here. This would have really been a good candidate for Aussie 50's electrolysis tank. So next thing to do here is to bolt the head on the compressor. Alright, using some long 1/2-inch studs, this actually helps you in aiding in getting this on here without fighting the gasket. Alright, got the head on and all torqued down. I got the inner stage relief valve in and the crankcase breather line on, and the hydraulic unloader's all plumbed up. So now it's just a matter of rebuilding the valve. Alright, this is our valve seat. This is a discharge valve right here. And what I got is some 120 grit. It's actually drywall sandpaper. It works out really nice for this. And we're just going to concentrate on this seat right here. Make a few figure 8 patterns. I'm actually using a sheet of glass right here. You want something extremely flat. And just kind of a backyard technique here. Just looking to make sure there's no missing pieces here. Pits are okay. So that's a discharge valve, and this is an intake valve right here. The seat's right here. The whole area is kind of a seat. Actually, the disc fits in this small area right here. Looks really nice too. Maybe just a little bit of pitting here. We'll have to hit that again. There, that looks good. Alright, I got all the seats lapped. Quincy has made a change here. This was the old style spring that came out of the machine. It was kind of a groove type, or just a wrapped piece of wire, kind of, if you will. And these kind of they had a tendency to wear into the bumpers. So what they've done is replace them with this style. And it's a proprietary list, or a proprietary sheet that came with the valves that said that you're not supposed to duplicate this. So I'm not going to put it on YouTube, but the valve springs that are painted white are for the discharge valves. And it's like about 95 degrees out here, and everything I'm touching is hotter than hell. So these go together very simple. And there is a trick to the, wow, it is hot. I mean to tell you. These, I swear to God, this stuff's got to be about 130, 140 degrees. Anyway, it fits together just like that, and you're basically looking at, these are all just a check valve, or directional valves, whatever you want to call them. This is the discharge valve. I'll go ahead and put the rest of them together, or the other discharge. I'll show you the trick on the suction side, or excuse me, the suction side. Okay, this one here, here's the disc and the spring, and if you just set this on here, you take a little screwdriver and just wedge that disc down, take your seat, and a 3/8 extension, away you go. Alright, so we install our seat gaskets. Suction valves. Here's a little trick. Alright, if you take your plunger here, fits right nicely in here, and you can just load this right in here. Like so. And our discharge valves. And then our unloader pins and springs. And then our hold down covers. And this washer fits on top of here. That's what activates and opens up the high pressure intake valve. Now before I put my covers on, I'm just going to take the gaskets and put some anti-seize on them, just in case I got to get back into this thing again. Alright, this is one of the unloader pistons. It fits inside of here. This has always been a place where condensate kind of gets in here, although this is plated to a certain degree. I always like to just put some anti-seize on this prior to putting this in here as well. Just keep it from getting stuck in the future. And my gaskets with the anti-seize on them, sticking to my hands. I've seen people actually tighten these things to the point where they've actually broke the head, the actual small little seat area there. It's odd to have it happen, but it can't happen. Alright, I got to get the high pressure intake hold down tool. Alright, same thing goes here, anti-seize on this high pressure suction valve. You got to remove the little plunger here before you can work with the tool. There we go. Plunger back on. If you recall, this was the part in the old video. Well, hold on a second. Alright, this is the old part that came out of here that was actually missing the O-ring. This is what Quincy decided to do to try to cheapen this machine up back in the day. Really didn't work out too good. So, at any rate, this is the new, well, this is the old style. Fits right into here. There's a gasket on here. You can do this either way. I'll have to get the other tool. Alright, before doing that, if you recall, last time when I took this apart, all that was here was the diaphragm. And the diaphragm had to push down on that little plunger right there. Well, this is actually the part that's missing. That's supposed to go inside of here. And once again, this is an older piece. The newer ones are made out of steel, but I still don't think it's a bad idea to put just a little bit of anti-seize around the edge right here. And then back up around this body right here. Won't hurt the thing. And then it's going to be a lot easier to tighten this down once we have the cover on here. So let me get these bolts on and we'll torque that down. Alright, got the unloader tower, or the bolts. Just going to tighten this down. Just realign our line here. Got anti-seize inside of the our lock nuts. Screw these on. Oops. And tighten down our jam nuts. At this point, it ought to sound like an air compressor. As it does. Well, let's hear how it sounds. Well, go ahead and hook up the discharge line and our control line to the unloader tower and we'll run it. Alright, time for a test run. Well, I'm going to have to take care of that tank drain issue here first. Alright. see if she'll load. I've got an air leak right here. Beauteous. Drain some air and make it start again. Well, that sure looks good to me. Sometimes you can tell if the discharge valve here holds all your air pressure back. There's no in-tank check valve. And if the discharge valve leaks, you can actually hear it come out of the intake here. You'll actually hear a type noise. But this one here in this case looks darn good. So it's just a matter of putting the other belt on and the air filter, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the head. Well, that's going to conclude this video. Really basically tear down to rebuilding of a 325 air compressor. I hope you enjoyed it. Took longer than I thought it was going to take. Some weather setbacks and some things like that, but I appreciate y'all for watching.